What's going on? We back, Goodfellas Sports TV. One time for the one time. Much blessed to all the brothers and sisters out there supporting the boxing grind and the sports grind and supporting our channel. Make sure you subscribe, hit the bell icon, miss another video, all right? Let me know how you feel in the comment section. We'll be checking the comment section shortly and going live sometime this afternoon or this evening. And I heard that Canelo Alvarez and his WBC belt is getting a little bit more protection from the WBC. Since Triple G and Charlo didn't happen, the WBC will address Triple G mandatory situation in January since Charlo is fighting Willie Monroe. So it seems like Jermall Charlo is continuing to get punished because Triple G didn't want to fight him. And we talked about earlier how Tom Loeffler hid behind the fact that, you know, they would make they can't make the fight because Jermall Charlo is fighting Willie Monroe when they had plenty of space and opportunity and room to fight Jermall Charlo. All right. You can check that video out. I think it's the last video I dropped before this one. So now the WBC is docking Charlo because his mandatory opponent his title eliminator opponent that they mandated did not want to fight him and doesn't want to come back until March, April, or May. He's looking for a direct shot, with a rematch, with a third fight with Canelo Alvarez. And I said this before from the jump. I said when Jermall Charlo took that WBC interim title, and I found out that he had to drop out of the IBF, the WBO, and the WBA rankings, I said that was a bad situation. I said it was a terrible situation. That was some bad advice. Whoever, told him to do that, it was horrible because I knew if Canelo Alvarez got his hands on that belt, and I knew Triple G was not going to fight him, and he would probably move him up, and he would become the full WBC title holder by being vacated. I knew when he jumped out of the rest of those the rankings, it was a problem because he was ahead of Danny Jacobs in the IBF and the WBO, meaning he probably would have been mandated to fight. I think he was ahead of Demetrius Andrade too on the WBO. He would have been mandated to fight Billy Joe Saunders, or at least at minimum, he'd have been mandated to fight Demetrius Andrade. At some point, he was ahead of Danny Jacobs in the IBF. He could have been mandated to fight Derevchenko for the vacant IBF title. Okay, and the WBA is a sticky situation. All right, Canelo holds that belt. Now Robert Brandt holds the regular belt, which I'm pretty sure he wasn't aiming for the regular WBA belt. Well, the risk and the reward in this is they can't do you like Errol Spence and say, oh, they don't want the IBF, they want the WBC belt. The reward was he was going for the most prestigious strap in the division, the WBC regular belt, the full WBC title. But you knew if Canelo Alvarez got his hands back on that title, the WBC wants to be in Canelo Alvarez's lap so bad that his purses are so big, they get that nice chunk of percentage. It's usually 3%, but when you make the type of money Canelo make, it's more like 1 or 2%. But 1 or 2% of what he makes is way more than what you get from Jermall Charlo, any other fighter in boxing right now, probably other than Anthony Joshua. Or, that's the closest one, or next closest fighter to him. And Jermall Charlo made a huge mistake here, in trusting the WBC. So they're going to mandate him another opponent, and then that's going to put it back, that's going to put him on the back burner until September 19, excuse me. So they jerking him around big time. That's what we already knew. And on top of that, he's paying sanctioning body fees to WBC. So at the end of the day, he won't see Canelo Alvarez fight until late 2019 or until it's mandated. So 2 years of his career wasted waiting around for Canelo Alvarez. Now you can count your chickens right now and jump out the rankings and try to get re-ranked in the rest of the sanctioned belt body, or you can continue to pursue Canelo Alvarez to push for that fight. And if I was him, you came this far. You didn't pay, sanctioned body fees. They didn't sanction this Willie Monroe fight. And they're trying to play you, but I would guess you have to go ahead and handle your business and continue to pursue Canelo Alvarez. That's what the situation gonna have to be. You got to continue to pursue him. You got to continue to go through the BS of WBC and be prepared to lawyer up and sue them. And that's what it's got to be. He got to sue them. If they don't force that Canelo fight, and they decision in January can very much be they can order the Jermall Charlo versus Canelo fight next. They could, but they're not going to do that. They're going to provide the protection for Canelo Alvarez. And hopefully this situation is a situation like this it kind of gets fighters to know that it's time to get a commission, a global international commission, and it's time for them to find, two sanctioned belt bodies, that's gonna live by code, that's gonna be sanctioned United States, and they're gonna be able to held to the same standards that everybody else is held in the United States. Not somebody that's placed in Switzerland and somebody that's placed in Colombia where there's ain't no jurisdiction there. Okay? Can't nothing really happen to them there. But at the end of the day, like I said, it was a bad situation from the jump. It was a bad decision to take that WBC interim belt. And you paying to get ducked. And you wasted 2 years of your career. Possibly 3 years. You wasted 2018. Okay. You're going to waste 2019 waiting on Canelo because he ain't going to fight you next year. So even if you go to the zone, okay, let's keep it real. Even if you go to the zone, family, okay, guess what? It don't mean you, unless you get in the contract, Canelo don't have to fight you. Triple G don't have to fight you because you're on the zone. You could be locked into a contract, take that money that he's giving you, and you might not even get a Boo Boo Andrade fight. You be over there doing the same shit you're doing on PBC. But you locked. You can't move. Can't do nothing you want to do. So did anybody expect Mauricio Suleiman Jr. to do the right thing? No. Look how he did Errol Spence. He mandated Sean Porter versus Keith Thurman, and he mandated another mandatory after that with Andre Berto. And I know why. I can't say why that happened, but I understand it was a driving force behind that made that happen. Somebody went out their way and made that happen. And it's all about the money for them. They don't have no respect for the sport of boxing, the WBC. Everything is about money. Everything is predicated on money. Money, 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 money. And if you got the cash, or you bring that money like Canelo Alvarez bring, you ain't gonna have no issues. Trust me. He gonna be able to do whatever he wants to do for the rest of his career. WBC do not want to fall out of favor with him again. And Jermall Charlo, I think it's going to come to the point where he's going to have to sue. That's what it has to be. He got to sue. He got to sue them through the Muhammad Ali Act and see what happens. Get this money and get his belt. And at the point, if you had to sue somebody to make somebody mandate you after they took so much money from you, if you got to force their hand and sue, do you want the belt anymore? Do you want the belt? No, I wouldn't want to represent them. And at the end of the day, if he good with the situation with paying whatever he paying his 3% of $800,000, whatever he make it in his next fight, $1 million, 3% or whatever it is, if he fine with paying that money to them to be a paper title holder, so be it. So be it. Because we can't care and be pushing for him to get a rightful title shot at Canelo Alvarez. And at the end of the day, that history shows that Canelo Alvarez didn't have the balls to fight him. He hid behind politics and money. And don't hit me with that, oh, he's not aware of Jermall Charlo. He's aware of it fully. He's aware. He's fully aware of the challenge at hand. He was aware of them when his brother was with Golden Boy. He didn't want to fight his brother. So now what they want to do to counteract what Al Heyman is doing, now they want to say, oh, you got to come over here and fight Canelo Alvarez, And they know the WBC, they're going to keep throwing money at it. They know WBC ain't going to force nothing. So at the end of the day, either Jermall Charlo got to go after another belt, and he going to drop that interim title belt. That's what's going to happen. He'll have to sue and drop that title belt and sue them and go after another title holder. And Danny Jacobs, it depends on what Danny Jacobs going to do. Because Danny Jacobs say if Canelo Alvarez ain't in the contract, he ain't signing back with Eddie Hearn at his own. And if he really wants the Jermall Charlo fight like he say he does, it's a big fight in Brooklyn, in his hometown. It's a huge fight. But the question is, if Jermall Charlo fights for the IBF title, which I don't really know the rules on this part of the WBC, if Jermall Charlo fights for the IBF title, does Jermall Charlo can he continue to hold the IBF? Can he continue to hold the IBF title and hold the WBC interim title? Can he hold that mandatory status like Keith Thurman is doing? Like Callum Smith is doing. He came into he got the diamond belt the first fight in a WBC tournament, in a World Boxing Super Series tournament. He's still the WBC Diamond Champion. He's still the mandatory, whatever they want to say. So if he can hold the IBF title, interim title, and hold the IBF title and still be Canelo's mandatory, that'd be huge. You know, because he's a world title holder again, 2-time IBF champion, 154, 160. You know, but at the end of the day, remember this, man. Mexicans, man, is going to take care of Mexicans, okay? They're not going to go out their way to put Canelo Alvarez in no harm. So if they got to get sued by Jermall Charlo or pillow talk Jermall Charlo until he ain't pillow talk enough no more, and they got to take a lawsuit on the chin, they will do that. You know, they will take a lawsuit. They will negotiate with him, make him go away, and keep him on the back burner. They will force step aside money down his throat. Because they people got to understand. Somebody black, let me put it this way. Somebody black is going to have to step in for these black fighters and create a sanctionable body and a commission for these fighters, because these black and these Cubans, the Dominican fighters, they get the shit in of the stick all the time. Trust me. You know, somebody needs to come in and step up with 2 formidable sanctionable bodies, you know, and these American fighters need to vote on it, and they need to be stationed in America. They need to fight for the 2 belts across the board. Because black fighters, they unless you Floyd Mayweather status, we always been the bottom of the barrel. So ain't no Mexican gonna put they Mexican ace out there and force him to fight a Jermall Charlo until he ready. So at the end of the day, Jermall Charlo better learn the politics of this sport real quick, fast, in a hurry. He needs to drop that interim title, you know, if he know he ain't in a position to get a full title, and go chase Danny Jacobs. If he can hold the IBF title, he can fight for the IBF and hold the interim title, so be it. Do that. But that's just the fact of the matter is they jerking him around. They jerking. People say, oh, it's not a black and white thing. It is. Yes, it is. I sit there and see Mexican people say, you know, I heard Dante talking about Joel Diaz. He talking about a story about how he made a bet, and one of the Mexican people, he bet against Marquez, and he was training Timothy Bradley in the fight. He said, how can you go against your own people? He said, I trained Timothy Bradley. I've been training him for a long time. So Mexicans have an extreme bias towards their own kind, and black people need to adopt that extreme bias. All right? To a certain extent. So they ain't going to throw him into the wolves. I'm telling you, they're not going to throw him to Lions only. Jermall Charlo is going to waste his career chasing Canelo Alvarez, same as Triple G did, and feel bad afterwards. But don't forget, we on Facebook, Twitter. You can email me as well. Video intros in the description as well. The intro instrumental. So you can hit me up on all those platforms. Want to make a donation? The link's in the description. Let me know how y'all feel about this situation. Salute to all the brothers and sisters out there supporting our page. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, bell icon button.